blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode of the Orbital. This episode, we're going to cover the previous Spurs game the Rockets won. Happy, Merry Christmas Eve, all that. We will have another episode out tomorrow for the Christmas game against Oklahoma City, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. But to cover the Spurs game, Rockets win 108-101, have a horrible first half, then come back, roaring in the third. Game gets a little close in the fourth, but the Rockets do pull it out. Ayers, Rourke, what did you guys see in the game the other day?
I was pretty surprised, honestly, that the Rockets pulled that one out. We actually looked pretty good against the Spurs. Good second half, especially that third quarter really busted it out. Harden's playing well. I will point out, as compared to his previous games, Harden did not shoot the ball too well. Still had like 39 points, 40 points. But in terms of like from three, he was 7 for 19, which is still over 33%. But just for the fact that Harden's chunking up almost 23s a game by himself is a lot. But good news things I wanted to point out, reasons why we won without Chris Paul, because I think we were like 0-5 or 0-6 without him going into this game this season. It was, I think Eric Gordon, Gerald Green both shot the ball pretty well from three, helped run the offense, especially Gordon helped facilitating. It was pretty much them two, those role players. Of course, Harden's going to be playing well every game, but having these contributions from the bench are really making up for the absence of Chris Paul and those points in offense that we're accounting for. Because defensively, we're still all right, right there, kind of in the middle of the league. But main thing was just getting that help for Harden, helped us get that win, and it really showed when we lost to the Heat a few days ago, and towards the end. But now I think, going forward, especially with the addition of Austin Rivers, which we'll get into, really just that contribution helping us get those wins. What about you guys? What do you see?
Johnny, want to go?
Yeah. I mean, you talked about Harden. You talked about Gerald Green. Gerald Green, amazing in the third quarter. Shot 4 for 4 coming off the half. That was really, really big for them, especially since he was like 1 for 6 in the first half. That was a huge spark for them. Eric Gordon is kind of out of his shooting slump. From the field, he shot 7 for 20, but from 3, he shot 4 for 12. So not the best shooting night, but he did have more minutes. Definitely took a lot more shots with Chris Paul out. But that doesn't mean he's not shooting better overall for the season, especially after his bad start at the very beginning. Capella, though, had a 20-20 game, third of his career. That's really big. He had 21 points, 23 rebounds. That was huge. Yeah. That has been so huge, especially considering all of the rebounding issues the Rockets have had the entire season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing which I thought was crazy, how many threes Harden took. He took about 19 threes. I think that's one of the I haven't seen that from him in a long time. So he was really pulling it from deep. And yeah, you talk about Eric Gordon, 4 from 12 from 3-point land. Still kind of a struggle there. You look at Brandon Knight coming off the bench, 0 for 4. So you didn't really get too much bench production from the Rockets in this game. And I guess that's when we could come in with the whole Austin Rivers talk. I mean, this is a guy who averaged 15 points per game for the Clippers last season. So, I mean, he's a guy that can fill it up. Has struggled with the shot in the past. But I think what he brings is like another ball handler, another shot creator, because he can really take you off the dribble, drive to the basket, kick out. But we'll see, being with the Rockets, how much his 3-point shooting can improve. And so I think this is an interesting get for the Rockets right here. So we'll have to see how he sort of fits in and everything. And also we talk about. Or we look at the whole thing that happened last year with the Clippers and Rockets, the whole tunnel thing or whatever. If there's any tension, I mean, Austin Rivers is saying there's nothing there, but you never know with those kind of situations. It's a little suspect. So, we'll have to see how he fits in. But I think this could be a potentially pretty good, solid move for the Rockets. It's a low risk move, and we talked about it in the past before. Like the Rockets love to do these types of moves. Bringing in guys like this and kind of rejuvenating their careers again. So, he had a short stint with the Wizards. I think he averaged like 7 points per game. Yeah. But we need all the bench help we can get because our bench is so thin right now. And, Brandon Knight is still trying to get his feet back under him. We see the 0 for 4. I mean, he had no points against the Spurs. And, we played Gary Clark for only 9 minutes. So, I mean, we'll have to see. But I think Austin Rivers can potentially help this team. So we'll see.
Yeah, going off what you were saying, Brandon Knight has been having a couple good games. Definitely has had some bad ones. These games, feedback under him, I think Rivers is there. One, he does bring defense from the guard position, right? He's not just an offensive player, but he's similar to what Eric Gordon brings, in that he's able to create, he's able to shoot the three. He fits better in the Rocket system than I think a lot of people are going to give him credit for, just because he does bring defense. He does bring a level of effort, and that's a big thing that you really want to see at any basketball player's effort, and I think he will bring that. He does stretch the floor a little bit, and yeah, Rockets are great with these kind of players who have bad starts to a season or a couple back-to-back seasons, and then they explode. And him coming out of Duke, he was supposed to be an offensive little mini spark plug guard, and I think the Rockets will let him be that entirely.
Hopefully.
Yeah. My only thing with Austin Rivers, obviously, I like the contribution we're going to have with the bench, just some added offense, especially. I'm just a little concerned with his facilitation on getting other people involved. So Austin Rivers, great scorer, honestly. In my opinion, last year, he was like third in ISO efficiency, only behind James Harden and Chris Paul. So now you add Austin Rivers, you have the top three guys in ISO. I mean, Austin Rivers finished ahead of Kyrie in ISO efficiency last year. So Austin Rivers really good at being able to score the ball. He did a lot for the Clippers last year when they had a bunch of injuries. Everyone talks about Lou Will, but it was really Austin Rivers who is pushing the ball a lot, getting that tempo, and which is really, I think, going to help us in our offense get into our flow. But I just don't know if he's going to be passing the ball a lot or just be looking for his own. So my main thing with Austin Rivers is he going to be able to? Bottom line, best thing he can do for us is we need more offense getting people, but we'll see how he can help contribute to other people. Especially one other guy I wanted to point out, Daniel House Jr. And actually pronounced Danny well, but. Anyway, he has been huge for the Rockets. Everyone's kind of overblowing, not really bringing him up, because he doesn't have the huge stat lines that people talk about. But Daniel House is a guy who's coming before last game. He was second in the whole month of December in his plus-minus efficiency over everyone in the league. So he's been really helping the Rockets on the floor. I don't know if that's because he's coming in against second-unit guys, but we're talking about a guy who brought it from the G League, dropped, then add him to a two-way contract, and now he's starting for the Rockets right now.
Yeah.
So really helping us out. He's been shooting the ball a lot better. You bring up Brandon Knight not shooting the ball that well. 0 for 4. Game before that, 1 for 5. This is my guy who I really wanted to come out. He's been 1 for 9 for 3 the last 2 games. So it's not looking good. But like I said, this is bound to happen. You see a guy like Gordon Hayward come back from a serious injury having struggles, So it's going to take time. And good news is I want him to get these slumps out of the way earlier rather than later. So hopefully we can turn him around. We have all these pieces starting together. Yeah. What do you?
Another thing with Austin Rivers coming in, we see how many minutes Harden played last game, 41 minutes, and you don't want your stars playing that much and getting burnt out. You don't want that, and Harden has done it before. He's carried. This kind of reminds me. Right now since Chris Paul is out, this is the team that Harden had in 2016, 2017 when he was basically the main guy facilitating everything. He just had Eric Gordon coming off the bench, but that's when Eric Gordon was actually a really knockdown 3-point shooter. So, but anyways, I think Austin Rivers comes in, gives a little pressure off of Harden, gets him to rest a little bit, and because we've seen it, especially in that Miami game, Harden was gassed the entire time. He comes fourth quarter when Chris Paul went out. So, I think Austin Rivers can really help a ton with that, and with the minute breakdown too. Also PJ Tucker. Here's another thing. PJ Tucker played 35 minutes the other night. Eric Gordon played 37 minutes.
16 rebounds.
It's 16 rebounds, and he's so important. But God, we need to add something to the bench. It's gonna bite them in the butt at some point in the season. You need to add more to this bench. It's so thin. It's one of the thinnest benches I've seen from a Rockets team in recent memory. So, I just gotta add more pieces if you're going to compete.
They need a lengthy 4. They need
a lengthy.
Someone like not Pascal Siakam. You know who I'm trying to say. Pascal Siakam. I'm not gonna try and say his name again. Not him, but someone like him. Because it would take way too much to get him from the Raptors. They're not even going to probably look to trade him. But if they can get someone like a Pascal Siakam, who brings rim protecting, length, and is athletic, that's really what I think. Now they need to add that. If they can bolster another piece like that, whether you find that in the G League or you, Terrence Jones is tearing it up in the G League. And if the Rockets maybe want to look into adding him back, bringing him back, that's the guy I would go after. You don't have to make a trade. You just got to give him a contract. Or find a roster spot for him. But someone like that.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Terrence Jones. Oh, man.
He's averaging like 25 and 12 in the G League with 5 assists. So,
wow.
when last time he was here with the Rockets, wasn't the best three-point shooter. If he can improve on that and make that a bigger staple, can stretch the floor a little bit more consistently, still bring the ball handling, versatile 4 that he was with the Rockets his first time around, I would really be interested and really love to see him back on the Rockets.
Definitely. And also, I mean, you look how thin we are at center as well. I mean, you have Nene. I mean, Nene's not really doing too much right now off the bench. You can see he's starting to age a little bit, and those injuries have sort of been catching up to him. And Marquise Chris, I mean, I don't know what's going on with him at all. He's just always been in the doghouse with D'Antoni, just barely gets any minutes. So, also, what I would like to see is maybe you go after a backup center, a younger, athletic type of guy, maybe that has a little bit more of a post game than Capella does, just someone that can bring in a different dimension to the offensive side. So, I mean, I think that's something you also have to look at. I mean, this is I never thought
in a Hartenstein basket.
Huh?
Do you not just kind of let Hartenstein be that, or do you think like?
Maybe you do. Maybe you do.
I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with both of y'all on what we need to add. I don't think we need any more bigger paint presence. Like you bring up Isaiah Hartenstein, I think he's that perfect replacement for after Capella and Nene. And Nene, I actually disagree. He's actually playing pretty well coming off, considering how old he is. I think he's like 34 or something. But point is, Nene has also one of the highest plus minuses coming off since in this month since he's come back to play. And let's not forget, when Nene returned to the Rockets, that's when we went on that 5-0 run. I'm not saying it was because of Nene, but I'm saying he's been a huge contribution and having that added depth coming in that paint presence. But really, it's not that Siakam, not that lengthy athletic paint presence that we need, because Capella, I think, is great on the defensive end. I mean, top 5 in blocks. And real quick, I'll just time out real quick about Capella. My all-star vote definitely should be an all-star consideration, averaging over 17 a game, top 10 in rebounds, top 5 in blocks. I mean, we're talking about one of the best big men in the game that no one's even realizing. I mean, he's averaging 17, 12, and 2.5 blocks. I mean, that's crazy. So, I mean, that's all-star caliber. I think his points could go up, especially in Chris Paul's absence. So if he gets that to around 19 and 12, that's definitely all-star numbers. But we need that added guard depth. Like we just got Austin Rivers, especially our guards are the ones not playing well. We talked about Eric Gordon, Gerald Green coming out of that slump, but really it's taking those minutes off Harden. You bring up Ayers, Harden playing a ton of minutes. He's 3rd in the league in minutes played, but only behind. Anthony Davis leads it at 36.9, then Drew Holiday at 36.8, and then Harden at 36.6. So pretty much you got the 2 Pelican stars and then Harden with like 0.2 less. That's not going to work out in the playoffs. I mean, we see how Harden takes a toll on his body. This is not the solution to Chris Paul being out. Austin Rivers taking those minutes, getting these added guards, someone like a J.R. Smith, some other type of guard element to take the pressure off James Harden. That's what we really need. Because
we also need more defensive rebounding. I'm sorry to say it, but this has been an issue the whole entire season. I mean, you see what happened in the Miami Heat game. I mean, they were just getting killed on the boards by Bam Adebayo and those boys. And so I don't think today is typically the greatest rebounder. And I mean, I know Capella put up 23 boards last game, but he's improving steadily. But I think we just need more defensive rebounding, just bigger guys, to be honest with you. And I mean, Nene brings a sort of physical side to the game, but we also need a little bit more height, to be honest with you. I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein there, he's still young, though. That's the thing. But I think if you're trying to make a playoff push, you need to get another guy like that.
You need to get a guy like James Johnson in the Heat game. I mean,
who
James
could catch
Johnson in the
balls.
Heat game really did a number on the Rockets rebounding. Whether it's him boxing out, or whether him being physical, or him actually grabbing rebounds, James Johnson did a huge number on the Rockets rebounding-wise in the Miami Heat game. And that's why I think if you get a guy who's like more of an undersized, you can still go for that is athletic, like a James Johnson, right? Not the biggest power forward. He's a versatile power forward, can shoot the three, dunk the ball, gets his rebounds, is a physical, intense guy. You get a guy like that, you increase your rebounding ability. A guy that's based in effort.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm interested to see what you're looking up for the counter argument.
Me?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
I'm
no.
looking stuff up for the counter argument to that.
Yeah, no, I actually kind of agree.
Mhm.
James Johnson, I'm looking more at, like, we need more offensive presence. Better offense.
You're all about offense.
A lot of people say good defense turns into better offense. It's really inverse. Better offense turns into good defense. Because you score the ball, you get set up in your defense, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says you get a stop, you get good transition offense.
Yeah, but guess what? You get rebound, you're not getting any stops. You're getting
You're only getting that good transition. You're only getting that good transition defense. You're only getting that good defense if you score the ball and get set up, though, because the Rockets have one of the worst transition defenses in the whole league. So scoring the ball in turn to get a set up to not be in transition defense makes us a better team. So we're all in agreement here. We need something more.
I think Austin Rivers is a good addition to address the offensive issues. And I think now, if they are going to make another move, I would suggest getting a guy that helps the rebounding now. That you've gotten the guard depth a little bit better with Austin Rivers. I think he can handle more minutes than what he got in Washington. He was averaging around 23 minutes a game there. I think you can bump him up to 25, 27 in Houston. And you mix him with Eric Gordon, Brandon Knight. Maybe you let Michael Carter-Williams play the garbage time minutes at the very end if you're just looking for defense and you have Harden out there or something, where he doesn't have to do anything besides be lengthy and play defense. Anything like that. You've got about 5 guards that you can rotate a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm thinking we need, instead of the James Johnson Siakam approach, even though obviously we can get those guys, I'm thinking more like the KCP, Kent Bazemore, J.R. Smith or Rodney Hood, these kind of players that are like going to be able to get our offense going.
I see what you're saying, but I will pose a question to you. So if we get a KCP, right, we probably play him at the wing, correct?
He's probably the number one possible trade target out of everyone I just stated.
Right.
KCP.
Right, but let's pose the question, right? So we get KCP, right? We'd probably play him at small forward and shooting guard, somewhere around there, right? But wing, primarily, correct?
Yeah.
I would assume. All right. So now if we play him as a 3, who's currently playing the 3? Daniel House. Clark's playing some 3, but mostly 4. Tucker's playing the 4. But now all those guys have to move down a slot. So now we have got Tucker playing maybe center. You've got Capella either playing more minutes. You've got Hartenstein. You've got these guys who are usually playing at 3, moving down to 4. And that's where our issue on rebounding is coming, is our guys are not big enough or maybe not used to playing such a physical position.
Yeah, but KCP's not really going to play the 3. KCP's going to be the replacement for when Harden gets subbed out. I think like Austin Rivers will come in, and KCP. Like I think adding a KCP actually makes more big men play big men roles. We're never going to play Tucker at the 5. That'll never happen.
Austin Rivers is more of a Chris Paul replacement for now. I mean, when Chris Paul goes out, I think Austin Rivers comes in. I mean, then again, you have Eric Gordon, but I think
he's a tweener like Gordon is.
Eric Gordon. Yeah. Eric Gordon will play the 3. KCP, not really.
He's been in the starting lineup for the past, however, a week or so.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do after the trade deadline, and I think the starting lineup is going to look a lot different from after the trade deadline. So we'll have to see what that looks like. But yeah, no, I really think you need to go for another rebounder. To be honest with you, just add some more size. You need to add some more size, and because the Rockets are such a mismatching defensive team that they always create mismatches, and whether that be Usually, I mean, you can see like Chris Paul sometimes was matched up against Bam Adebayo down at the post. Like, I mean, that's the issue. Sometimes when you switch so much because you get those size mismatches, and I think you just need to add a little bit more size and a little bit more defensive versatility to the Rockets. So who that will be, I have no idea. I think Daryl Morey's looking at that. I think there's definitely potential pieces out there for the Rockets to get, but there's a lot the Rockets need to do. Like George just said, I think we're all in agreement on that. Definitely need to add a little bit more offensive firepower and defensive and just basically every facet to the game you need to add a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we just disagree on where that offensive firepower should come from. Ayers and I are probably pretty much in agreement on the fours. Obviously, you have your opinion on KCP. It is what it is. But yeah, I think we all agree that the offensive firepower does need to increase. Hopefully, Austin Rivers does make a dent in that, but we will see what happens. Yeah. Moving forward to the Christmas game, we are playing Oklahoma City. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we have a chance at winning? I think we do. I know Oklahoma City's playing pretty well recently, but I just don't think that it's going to be heavily in their favor like a lot of people probably think.
Well, yeah. I think it's at home too. It's in Houston, so I think that's another advantage right now. If it was in Oklahoma City, I would say definitely the Thunder have more of the edge right now. But since it's in Houston, I'm gonna give. I checked the odds on ESPN right now. They're saying the Rockets have a slight percent chance to win. But I think the Rockets really do have a chance to take this game. This will be Austin Rivers' first game with the Rockets, and I think it's pretty exciting. And I think the Rockets could come out and do pretty well if they shoot well and defend and they actually rebound a little bit better. I think the Rockets definitely have a good chance. So. Paul George is playing super well right now. You can argue he's the best player on the Thunder right now. The Thunder are playing really good basketball. I think it'll be a good game. Have the Rockets even beat the Thunder this year? I don't think they have.
No.
I think they're 0-2 against. I think we played them twice. I'm not sure though. I think this is a potential. This would be a really good win for the Rockets. Harden is just playing out of his mind. So if Harden continues to play like that. And Capella continues to play like he's playing, and I think the big X factor in this game is going to be Eric Gordon, and if he shoots really well, I think the Rockets really have a really good chance. So,
yeah. I want to hear some sort of stat that's like if Eric Gordon shoots over 50% from three, what's our record? Because I think like my main thing is though, I mean, you guys are both pretty optimistic. I'm a little nervous, boys. Hey, for Rocket success, if that means anything, that means we're probably actually going to win. Because every time I think, like, oh, guys, we got a tough schedule. We got some hard people coming. Like, this is not looking good. We usually pull those games out. So
they did win every single game the week I predicted they were going to all tear their ACL. So, I mean, everyone's going to tear their ACL on Christmas Day. I'm just saying.
Here's what the Rockets got going for them. OKC barely beat us last year on Christmas. I know that's got to have some sour taste in some Rockets' mouths, especially James Harden coming on, former team, wanting to show out, especially on Christmas Day. This is when I think if you're James Harden, you say, okay, why isn't anyone talking about me in the MVP conversation? Time to make my statement. More people are talking about Paul George being the MVP than James Harden.
Stop it.
I mean, he's playing incredible right now, averaging over 30 for the month, playing definitely by far the best on the Thunder. Actually, Russell Westbrook's been playing pretty bad, so he's been, dishing the ball out to Paul George a lot.
Triple-double, though.
Yeah, he got a triple-double, but the game before he shot like 2 for 13, like terrible, and had like an 8-point, 12 rebound, 9 assist kind of night. And Paul George, meanwhile, puts up like 40-something and then has like the game winner, whatever. So, point is, George Paul, as Skip Bayless likes to call him, is looking like Paul George right now. We'll see how he acts in big time. Paul George likes to, kind of shy away from the moment.
The Gatorade commercial.
So yeah, exactly. I'm picturing the Gatorade right now for the win. Boom, off the other side of the backboard. Rockets win on Christmas.
Airball.
So, but the good news for the Rockets, if we do win this game, I mean, we are in the playoffs, 8th seed right now. Good news is we're 17-15. We're only 5 games back from the #1 seed. So we talk about the Thunder, who are pretty much there, 21-11. Nuggets are actually #1 right now, 21-10. But we are 17-15. So that's about 4 losses, 5 games back. Not that bad for us. Problem is, the West is still very, very close. You look at that 14th seed, which is where we were at 2 weeks ago. That's the Pelicans, who are 8 games back, and they just actually did they just beat the Thunder last night, or was that the Timberwolves? I think the Timberwolves beat the Thunder last night.
Yeah, I know.
Those are
Pelicans lost to Lakers the other night.
Yeah, Lakers just lost a game too. Yeah, to Memphis. So we got some teams. It's all still very close. We see though, it's kind of like a transition. If you want to talk about the West real quick, teams like the Clippers starting to dip a little bit. They're 6th and we're 8th. They're we're only 1.5 games behind them. We see the Grizzlies starting to fall off. They fell below us. We saw the Mavericks.
They just beat the Lakers last night.
Yeah, but I mean, Lakers look pretty doo-doo. They even score 100. The good news for the Spurs are they're kind of sticking with the Rockets, trying to make a little climb right now. Mavericks have dipped off. They're 15-17. They did barely lose last night, though. Did you see anyone see Luka's super clutch 3?
Oh,
seconds left.
That was a shot.
That's disgusting. So I mean, but the point is, the Mavericks are still 15-17, 12th in the West. My main point is, the West is still very, very tight, and the Rockets cannot skip a beat here, especially without Chris Paul.
Yeah, no, Minnesota beat OKC last night. It was Minnesota, so
yeah, Minnesota. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow on Christmas. This was another episode of The Orbital. If you liked the video, please leave a like on it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to comment what you guys thought about what we talked about today. Hopefully we can respond to a couple of them. Make sure to follow us on social medias, Instagram and Twitter, both at @orbital_the. We do a lot of stuff. We're going to keep doing a lot of daily content on those. So if you want to hear more from us, just about the Rockets, just about NBA in general, we are going to start posting some more fun stuff, kind of like NBA quizzes. What do you think about this? Pick teams, that kind. We do a lot more fun stuff. So make sure to follow us, again, at @orbital_the. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Merry Christmas Eve, baby.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.